This is John. John loves to study chess. This is David. David loves to study chess as well, but efficiently. John spends more time setting up the board and figuring out what's on the page of his book than he gets to study. David likes to take it easy and use his time wisely. David has finished his exercise for today. John should try the same.
Seriously? Checkmate! Aim Chess is an intelligent system that analyzes your game, prevents mistakes, and develops recommendations for improving your skill. Phew!
Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. Oh, what are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
That I give him up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
welcome to day one of Norway Chess, where it's the Blitz tournament, where the players will be playing some fast and furious chess to determine their pairings and their seedings. And it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Jovanka, and it's wonderful to be here next to you, Jan Gustafsson.
Yeah, I'm excited to be anywhere, frankly. We're at a building with the top players, everything's nice. Nice hotel. I've been sitting in my basement for 2.5 years, so this is a great pleasure to be watching.
Yeah, it's a fantastic building, actually, now you kind of come to mention it.
Yeah.
Lots of wood. We like to push wood, don't we, as chess players?
I wasn't sure if it's associated to chess or if it's just Scandinavian minimalism, but it is beautiful. And I'm also looking forward to the action. Like today, the Blitz tournament, are stakes high? Like it feels like they're sort of mediocre, right? It's about who gets one more white game in the real tournament.
I mean, I was told by the players that as long as they get the seedings 1 to 5, all is good. And yeah, you could see on the screen there were some regulations. The players were playing an all-round round robin, and the pairings, sorry, the clock starts with 3 minutes with a 2-second increment starting from move 1. And it's a traditional scoring system. A win is 1 point, draw half point, loss is no points.
So the goal is really to finish in the top 5, then you get one more white, right?
Yeah. And they're off. Players shaking hands.
Where do we start? We got to start with the world champion, right? Magnus Carlsen.
Against, yeah, he's got the black pieces against Timur Rajabov, and it's a Grunfeld.
Interesting, not his go-to opening. Normally he likes to put a pawn on d5 and then cover it somehow. But here, he goes for the Grunfeld, which he's played plenty. But it's not something we're used to see from him.
No.
Rajabov, not surprised. Bishop g5. c5.
This one I haven't seen before.
I've seen it because I think it's a specialty of one of Magnus's seconds in the World Championship matches, Daniel Dubov. I think he's played some games here. The main move is knight to e4 or even bishop g7. But Daniel, he likes to give up pawns and be creative. So I think this is his line, but I'm also hazy on the details. Looks like just pawn down. What's the point? C takes d5, you're not getting that one back. Queen b6.
Queen b6 and bishop pair. Attack the d4 pawn.
Still looks suspect. Knight f3, let's say.
Yeah.
Do you really want to take on b2?
No. No, that kind of looks a little bit poisoned. I imagine that, okay, so he was gone for e3. Take on b2, can we?
Feels very slow. White gives a check, brings the knight out. Yeah, it's not his idea. C takes d.
And I'm guessing that the idea is just to develop dark square bishop castle quickly and on with the game, pawn down.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Rajabov doesn't take back immediately, brings his bishop out, which looks very logical. I guess black plays bishop d7, you take, then e takes d4. Yeah, maybe the argument is that long term these double pawns in the center aren't worth all that much. But no. Okay. Queen takes.
Okay, right, I guess then you're going to have to grab that pawn. Sorry, grab the queen.
Probably takes. And once again, pretend you have enough compensation for this. Magnus, were you bluffing? He's down to 2 minutes almost. They both are.
Yeah. Takes, and then the bishop. It kind of feels like one of those panel variations in the Caro-Kann, where white has those double pawns and you just play around them, and white defends them, black attacks them, standstill.
I don't know, I like pawns.
Me too.
And these two guys, they control a lot of squares as long as they're on the board. I like bishop c4 because he's not helping to develop this knight. It looks like it's going to be a while until the black pieces come out. Not a fan of this opening.
Yeah.
He's playing against Timur Rajabov, bishop c8. There you
I
go.
wasn't expecting
Desperate
that
to get
one.
the knight out.
I thought the bishop might actually come to f5 and then, okay, knight d7. Okay, he's got to do something with his king. Can't live in the center. Okay, but he has to live in the center, the knight.
Does look
Bishop
awkward.
goes to...
Usually you'd want it here and then maybe the pawn on f5, but if you go bishop d6,
He's going to go knight e4.
it's gonna get hit.
And then d6 is coming, it takes a step back. Difficult.
Show us the way, Mr.
But
Carlsen.
can you just live with the king on, say, on d8?
I don't know. I mean, you might have to, but bishop goes to b3, then the knight comes to e4, attacks f6, and there's d6. The other knight can jump. I'd be very scared. We can see the computer evaluation, this little bar next to the small board, which says it's not that much for white.
Kind of.
Knight c8. Magnus, he likes to shuffle his knights around. Right? So the knight is headed here.
Yeah, it does feel like it's all gone a little bit wrong. And I use a little bit in the kind of the British way, which means it's gone terribly wrong. Knight c5 is coming.
I don't
There's no
understand
threat.
anything.
Can he-
Bishop f5, what if we take the pawn? Knight takes f6.
Is his idea bishop g7 and then
Knight is stuck there.
grab the pawn on d4 maybe, just to get some material back.
He's down to 37 seconds. And Rajabov.
Over 1 minute. Okay, well. No, the idea was actually to blockade the pawn. Okay, I wasn't predicting that.
Well, his knight is stuck on d6, on f6 somewhat. The threat was bishop g7. It didn't have anywhere good to go. So he goes h3 and knight g4. Doesn't want to retreat towards the center. And as he
Gotta
predicted,
take it.
one pawn falls.
And where to put the bishop? Okay,
Yeah, now it looks sort of healthy because he got rid of both his bishops all of a sudden. He's left with a strong blockading knight on d6, and if black gets in rook c8, so the c pawn can't come and touch the knight, and I guess he's fine.
but I guess white simply just piles up on the e line, tries to put a rook on the 7th row, and okay, c4 coming, rook c8 forced. Yeah.
Cover that. I'm
Blockade.
wondering if he even wants to exchange a pair of rooks to make sure nothing ever happens there. But maybe also has more aggressive intentions, like king d7, and try to checkmate.
Oh, that's a bit confident. Isn't f3 and
Rajabov, very solid player. Doesn't want to get checkmated. He's trying to counter by attacking the black king
and
and forces it back. There you go.
13 seconds. Okay.
King d7, bit of a mistake, maybe. Bit over-ambitious. Then again, maybe white just plays bishop b3, and they go for a move repetition. My favorite result in chess.
But what's wrong with just keeping the game alive? Bearing in mind that Magnus is 13 seconds, and I'm just like thinking, push the pawn on f3.
That's
f2,
not how
f3,
Ah, there he goes.
g3.
I did Rajabov wrong. And Magnus finally switches to my plan. Bring the rook back, no checkmate. Exchange a pair of rooks. Make sure white doesn't have any entry squares. Try to hold that.
Okay.
And king
King
takes.
has to take.
Yeah, 'cause you don't want to let the c-pawn off the leash.
King goes to okay, so I'm guessing white's dream is just to put the king on d4 and see what happens next. And the players just blitzing out the moves. They have to. They only got seconds left on the clock. Okay, now. Wow, incredible move from Rajabov. Bishop c4, presumably now.
Yeah, he gave up a pawn to give his rook some breathing space. But it still looks like black is very, very solid. Magnus once again shuffles the knight around, this time to b6. Rajava has to be a little careful that he doesn't lose control here. But he's a seasoned pro, he will make sure enough pawns disappear. So it doesn't go too bad. But now if anybody's better, it's black. King is active, the knight is back to d6, c4 or a4 are looming. Has to be careful.
Yeah, pawn takes, pawn forced.
I'm starting to mistrust our eval bar, which says white is slightly better.
No, it
But the whole
feels like
game feels stuck. White is not slightly better here.
no, feels like black is the one who is better. White's pawns are just weak. Magnus doing his magic. Okay, so Rajabafo noticed that when he feels a bit stressed, he swaps pawns. Probably a good idea.
I think that's supposed to be good defensive technique. No, if you're worse, you should limit the number of pawns. If you're better, you should limit the number of pieces. I'm not sure that always applies.
Okay.
I was told, and ever since I'm just trying to exchange all the pieces whenever I think I'm better. Usually it doesn't work.
Okay, so this is actually the last game remaining. Every other match has actually finished with a white victory. So Anish Giri beat Topalov, and these two players are battling out, and it looks like it's going to be the first draw. I mean, there you go, check.
Now Rajava is slightly better again. He did manage to not only get rid of all the opposing pawns, but also to keep one himself. But of course, it should be a draw.
Okay, well, there's
a5 didn't work because of knight c6 check, so it's hard to make progress. But stranger things than losing such a position have happened.
okay,
Maybe not to Magnus. I think there.
and here we go.
Yeah.
Draw is going to be agreed. Oh, that was a bit topsy-turvy game.
Oof.
They could have agreed to draw a little bit earlier and repeated positions. But yeah, no, incredible round so far. And you can see that Anish Giri, he beat Veselin Tabalov, Wang Hao beat Wesley So, Vishwanathan Anand beat Aryan Tari, and Shakhriyar Mamajarov also beat Maxim Vachilagrov. So a little bit everything as expected, or some surprises for you? For me, it's like Wang Hao beating Wesley So.
Whenever Wesley loses, I'm surprised here.
Yeah, I mean, he's incredible. I mean, especially at Blitz. And also Maxim Vachilagrov, world Blitz champion, losing with the black pieces to Shakhriyar Mamajarov. But for me, that's not so surprising because Shakhriyar is very, very dangerous. And there you see the arbiters setting things up. So the players will have a 5 minutes pause, and then they start again.
Oof, stressful.
Are you good at Blitz?
I used to be. So now I'm not anymore. It's very frustrating because I'm becoming this old man. Get off my lawn. You have no idea how tough it was to play Blitz 20 years ago. Now these young kids and their mouses and their computers. No, I'm no longer good. I think it's, yeah, maybe practice, but mainly also being active and having the reflexes, which these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
3 + 2. It's stressful.
Because you spend 1 minute, and before you know it, it's 2 minutes, and then next thing you look at the clock and you've got 10 seconds left. Well, this happens to me, and I'm like, and then
Yeah,
I lose my brain and I can't cope.
The thing is, I grew up with 5-0 Blitz, like I think most people did, where you don't get these extra 2 seconds. And it feels like a different game, because here with 3 + 2, as you mentioned, you're in time trouble directly, and then you need the skill to make a good move every 2 seconds, which over the board with pressing the clock is really not a lot of time. And I'm very impressed. Sometimes you see games between these guys, like I recall a game between Magnus and Aronian, where for 50 moves they're both on 2 seconds, and they just keep making incredibly good moves. Yeah, they're the best in the world for a reason.
Yep, that's true. Actually, I had never ever thought about that. I was raised on 5 minutes Blitz, no increments. So I have an excuse because I couldn't understand why I deteriorated so quickly. Because I used to, like you say, you know, I used to be okay at Blitz. You know, I used to play thousands of games against my brother, who was an international master, and I kind of was good at hustling and playing those kind of tricky chess, and you know, what if I was losing? But then suddenly I started playing in these official events, and before I knew it, I was losing to 1800s.
Yeah, I blame the 3+2, not old age or stupidity. It's the rules that changed. Speaking of old people, Topalov is back playing in this tournament, which I find exciting. He hasn't played a tournament, the former world champion, I think, since Gibraltar 2020, maybe?
He did play in Salamanca and in, I think, the Karpov
Those
tournaments,
were
but they're
rapid,
rapid, right? So yeah, 2020.
And he's a bit of an exception, because normally all the top players are supposed to be top players in Blitz as well. But he always had that reputation. He's great at classical chess, but no good at Blitz. I'm not sure how true that was, but it's confirmed here in the first round where he gets crushed by Anish. Let me have a very quick look if we have the time. What happened there?
Okay. Well,
Playing sharply. Good old Sicilian. Are you a Sicilian player?
no.
What do you do? The Caro-Kann? I know you wrote a book.
Yeah, it's the only opening that I've played. I did dabble with other openings like E4, E5, but I ended up playing an Archangel. That looked like a bit of a massacre, actually.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
Good game by
Construction.
Anish.
I have no idea what happened though. Like, probably was just in real big trouble. And I like this little trick H7,
Yeah, that's very fancy.
leaving the queen en prise. But this is just.
Kind of reminds me of that Anand game just now that he played. Although that was a much more sophisticated version of this. This feels like it was just brutal.
King C1 also nice.
Very, very nice.
Not afraid.
Oh, it's, yeah. Sharp openings are not for me. Do you like sharp openings?
I like openings, but sharp openings only if I know them, not in order to get some complicated position where we both have to think. But in general, I'm not a big fan of opposite sides castles. It scares me to have these pawns running at my king. So usually I try to have the kings on the same side. And then if they want to attack me, at least they have to weaken out.
Yeah.
I'm a big optimist in chess. Anish Giri, he used to be considered weaker at Blitz than at classical. But I think he's fixed it. Maybe during the pandemic where he had a lot of time for online stuff, maybe because rapid tours and so on are becoming more important.
Yeah, his coach, Erwin Lamy, did actually say that he had made a very concerted effort to improve that area of his chess and also to improve his dynamism. And the players are off, and who are going to follow today? And well, in this round.
Maybe we should ask the people out there, but until then, maybe
should we go for Wesley
against Vichy? That
yeah,
looks fun.
that sounds good. And well, we definitely have one of your opening favorites.
Oh no, now I'm scared already. Bishop G5 pin. But yeah, they're speaking my language. This is called the Gioco Pianissimo. I don't speak Italian, but I think it means the slowest possible play.
Okay.
Bishop G5, this pin, very ambitious move, but Vichy is saying, you know what, I'll move my bishop back. I'll unpin, even if it costs me tempo. And then
Okay.
the argument is this bishop might not be so great here.
Yeah. I find this opening, I have to confess, impossible to understand.
No one does. I think
Okay.
you have to get used to that. No one understands this. No one has figured out the move orders. You just make moves and then you hope you're okay. No one can figure out, was this the position where I'm supposed to include h6, bishop h4, or is it without? Or was this the line where white had castled or the line where white had played a4? I don't think anybody can
Okay.
figure these things out. Wesley might be close, but even him must be getting close.
Okay. Well, one answer already is what to do with this dark square bishop. And, well, Anand said, well, I'm going to try and trade it off. And Wesley says, no, thank you. And I kind of like what he's doing. But I'll be honest with you, having seen a lot of Magnus's games on the tour, I'm terrified of what Wesley So is doing on the queen side. Because that tends to be a winning formula for white.
Yeah, the space grabbing.
Yeah.
Surprisingly annoying for black. And I have to say, this move, bishop to g3, it has become more or less standard, but to my eyes it always looked so strange to give up this bishop for the knight and then say, okay, you can have the two bishops, it's not a big deal. I even recall, probably not this exact position, but that at one of the training camps with Magnus, we were debating such a line, and he just said, yeah, this bishop g3, this looks playable for white. And I just couldn't believe it, because I thought, you're giving up the bishop for nothing, and black has no weaknesses? But yeah, he probably understands chess quite well.
Yeah.
That was my conclusion. Still shocking to me.
Well, one of the things that I didn't understand about this position is this bishop is also just a bad piece. But now it's been traded off, and we saw another pin, and the same defensive technique, which is simply retreat the bishop, knight takes, and okay, what about...
No respect for bishops. Vichy also gets rid of his. Now they have what we call opposite color bishops.
Yeah,
I guess it's equal.
it does feel quite equal, actually. No side having obvious weaknesses. Maybe one fine day, black can think about pushing his pawn to h5 and having some fun there, but for the meantime, he has to go on the defensive on the queen side.
Yeah, Wesley, very, very strong theoretician. But also he likes to keep control of the game in the sense that he doesn't want things to get too crazy. And Vichy Anand, the legend, seems to have studied his Italian here. Looks like we're headed towards, maybe not a draw, but equality. I don't think black can be worse here. This rook goes to c7 and there aren't real weaknesses. These opposite color bishops positions, they say it's usually about bishop activity.
Yeah.
Maybe put this guy here, but c3 is weak. I don't know. I think black is fine.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to put my bishop on that diagonal as well, but first I wanted to do this plan that Wesley just enacted, and then rook to b1, and oh look, my plan.
There you go.
h5.
He's trying to give
The trendy plan.
his poor bishop some more squares. But yeah,
Pawn takes.
h5 seems like a good move in any position now. Oh, he's playing for checkmate. Rook takes, king goes here.
What about if the king goes to, I was going to say h4, but no. Rook takes.
This didn't happen. This is the dream,
Queen takes pawn, yes.
but unlikely.
No, we're not seeing that on the board. But hang on a second. Isn't it looking a little bit fishy?
No
For
pun intended, I
Wesley?
guess.
No, I was almost going to say for Vichy, but that would have been totally queen coming to d3, and then I guess he has to go rook b1, trade off that attacker immediately.
Still looks fairly safe, I would think. Rook b1, maybe queen takes a5, and then he has to think if he wants to continue playing a pawn down or take on b7. So
Wow.
he goes for pawn to f4. e5 as well. Wesley, so aggressive.
But that's actually the way he was playing in these super bet tournaments, incredibly aggressively, castling on opposite sides, opening his king.
It's not the Wesley I know, but he's just full-fledged top player. Of course he can do anything.
Yep.
Is he pushing? I don't think he is. Like, the white king is too weak as well. e6 or f5.
I mean, can you get a bit fruity and kind of start playing for g5? I
Well,
do like my pawn pushes.
Vichy likes his rook exchanges. Rook e1 threatened.
Okay.
Rook queen to c1.
But
So Wesley had to go back, and now it's very, very even. The b pawn is not moving.
yeah, I mean, the only thing black has to be really careful is about the queen moving to b3 and a bishop coming to c4, but, you know, that should be easily handled.
Yeah, black has enough counterplay, like queen to f2, pawn to h4.
Yeah,
Even if that construction happened, I think he would manage. A queen e4, somewhat surprising, letting the b pawn off the leash.
Trade
Maybe
off
they're
the
just looking
queens.
for a way to exchange
Okay,
queens and shake
that's
hands.
it. And let's see if any other games are going on. Do you want to see Magnus against Bashir Lagrave? Because this is opposite color bishop ending. That's going to be a draw. And, well, what's happening here?
What a weird position.
And not too much time on anyone's clock. Magnus 16 seconds, Maxim Vachier-Lagrave 30 seconds. And what's looking good for Magnus? He's got extra material.
It's an exchange up, rook versus bishop.
And he's been brave with his king. I'm guessing he's not afraid of the queen coming to h3 because he can just defend that with rook g1.
Still, feels like a bit of contemplate this. Oh,
Wow.
he goes on the attack, plays pawn to g4 himself.
Okay, after pawn takes pawn. Wow.
I guess he wanted to take with a queen to simplify further. But Maxime goes g5. What a mess.
Well, I guess this is the kind of stuff you do when your opponent only has 7 seconds on the clock. And Maxime, he calculates so fast. Pawn takes pawn. I guess then you have to go pawn takes pawn again. Whoa, rook takes pawn.
We should mention this is the classical world champion against the Blitz world champion. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave won the Blitz world championship. Is the reigning champion in that discipline. Of course, I still think Magnus is always the favorite, but it shows you how dangerous Maxime is.
But it's looking bad for him right now.
Hard to be dangerous if you're out of pieces.
I guess rook b8 is coming. Oh,
Makes the bishop decide, bishop f5, then rook to a8. Now after bishop c6, rook c8, and rook c7. And he should cope, bring the king first to stop the b pawn. Oh no, he doesn't. No, he
yeah, now it does. And the a7 is going to fall. And that's it. Handshake. And once again,
I like how Magnus always does this after the game. Like, okay, I won, but it was tougher than I expected. Stop asking so many questions.
okay, well, having a look at the scoreboard, you do see a few small surprises. Arian Tari defeating Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, and Timur Rajabov also beating Anish Giri. And you kind of mentioned that Veselin Topalov, maybe Blitz wasn't his strongest point, but he defeated Wang Hao with the white pieces. So basically, in these 2 rounds, we've seen white win virtually all games.
Yeah,
That's pretty strong well, not statistics, but wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a common thing. Usually whites just scores, I don't know, 55%. So it shouldn't be that dominant. Maybe if the players are a little rusty, some people might have traveled today or last night, that's easier to start with the white pieces and you get a bit more margin for error.
Yeah,
But still, this looks a bit extreme.
it does.
So Topalov beat Wang Hao.
Yeah, how did that happen? Was it out of the opening, another sharp position?
Not sure how sharp it was. What's the story with Wang Hao? He retired after the candidates and now he came back from retirement.
Right. You can't keep a good man away from chess.
Does anybody ever really retire from
No,
chess?
no one retires. Everyone comes back from its retirement. Who has retired and seriously never played? Like Kasparov said that he retired and he hasn't played classical chess, but he's kind of played Blitz.
That counts though, right?
Yeah,
If
it
you
does
say
count.
You retire from classical chess, like Kasparov and Kramnik, they haven't played any classical since their retirement.
But somehow you kind of think that they might never study a game of chess again if you retire. I guess that's not really true. No, this looks great for white. A big fan of a pawn being on d5.
Cashing in on the space.
Yes.
Not the most spectacular game, he just got an advantage, took a pawn.
Took another one.
Converted.
It's a nice strategical game.
Let's hope Wang Hao doesn't retire after this one.
I'm sure. Yeah, I think he flew in yesterday. So I guess time differences. And there we can see Maxim Vachilovgrad getting ready. See that? Drinking some water, pure water. One of the sponsors of Norway Chess.
He's always the first at the board, Maxim. He loves sitting there and staring at the pieces, waiting for his opponent.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of good, right? To get yourself into the mood, into the vibe, feel the pieces.
I don't know. Like in tournament games, I don't like sitting there for too long, waiting for the opponent.
Yeah.
Like I think you want to arrive before it starts, but barely. But
Okay.
everyone has their own habits.
There's nothing worse than when your opponent is late, but super late. And they're half an hour late and you're like, okay, what to do? The default time is 1 hour. They're not showing. And you're like, oh, come on. And then they mess with you in like 45 minutes, they still haven't shown up. And then 50 minutes they come and you're like, oh, well, I was just getting used to the idea that I might win by default.
I know, for me it's different. I really hope they don't come because in chess you can be an hour late at most tournaments and still start playing, but you lose that time on the clock. I really hope they don't show up within the first half hour. And then once it goes down to 45 minutes, I think, okay, if this guy gives me an extra hour, we might as well play, because you can win rating points if you play the game. So there,
Okay.
I don't mind it that much anymore.
But what are you doing with your time?
I have nothing to do with my time anyway, it doesn't matter.
So this is the thing that I find really boring. It's like, right, there's only so long you can wander the playing hall, and then you sit down and twiddle your thumbs. Anyway, yep. And Maxim getting ready in the zone.
But we have to cover everybody's favorite, no? Geary versus Carlsen.
Yeah, we definitely have to cover
it's a
that
modern
one.
classic.
It is.
It's like Real Madrid versus Liverpool. I don't know, would Geary be... Nah, he can't be Real Madrid. Can he be Liverpool? I don't really know football, so...
I'm going to disappoint you. I also don't know football at
okay.
all.
We need different analogies.
Yes.
This is like Harry Potter versus Frodo.
Frodo? Yes.
Frodo also doesn't ring a bell?
Cross. No, Frodo, I know. But I was expecting, I wasn't expecting the cross culture. That was all.
I thought I can't call either of them Voldemort.
No, you can't. But okay. Anish. But you can't really call him Frodo either. I know a funny story that when Elijah Woods was going to the premieres of the Lord of the Rings, no one knew his name. So the crowd, instead of calling him Frodo or whatever, they just called him Hobbit. They started chanting and he was like, yeah, great, wonderful.
I never know which one is which. Elijah Wood is the Frodo
It's
guy,
Frodo.
and Daniel Radcliffe is...
Harry.
Harry? Okay.
Harry Potter.
To me, they're the same person.
They do look similar. Okay, what are your predictions? I reckon... Okay. I was actually talking about the opening. I was going to get it wrong anyway. I was like, okay.
Grunfeld.
Grunfeld, no.
It can still be Grunfeldish.
Can be, yeah.
No,
No.
you ordered it, but you can go e5 here with black. But no, King's
No,
Indian.
King's Indian, okay.
Wow, that's a sign of disrespect. Play the King's Indian against Anish, saying, okay, I know I'm worse, I'll go knight b7, e5, but I will crush you from this inferior position I have.
Yeah.
It's either that or Magnus has prepared the King's Indian for this tournament to stun everybody. He's played it a bit, but really not much.
He was playing it on the tour, actually.
Yeah.
Normally against lower-rated players.
Everyone's lower rated than him.
That's true. That is very accurate. Okay, Rick centralizes. And d5 coming. I never know whether white should be going d5, actually. I always feel that.
Yeah, that's
Since
the thing. Objectively, and computers are always yelling go t5, and it's a big advantage. But it makes the position a bit easier to play for black. You go c5, and then you try to counterattack on the king side. So many players like trying to keep the tension in the center, like Anish does here. Drag it out, play queen c2, rook d1, rook e1,
Yeah.
and look for black to commit, because this structure they get now, where you take on d4, the knight will recapture, is somewhat easier to play than these more close structures. So
Yeah.
I like Anish's system.
Yeah, but you do have to keep control, because if you don't keep control of the pawn breaks, it kind of goes a little bit wrong. Okay, so knight goes to c5, yeah, I agree. Rook e8. I'm used to playing these positions with my bishop on g2. And is the bishop any better on e2, or just...
I think it depends
different?
if white can stabilize here. If white can go f3 and bishop f1, he'll be seriously better with the control of the center. The question is if f3 can be met by d5. And I would guess the answer is yes. Therefore, Anish is going bishop to g5. But that's, yeah, losing a little control. So let's see if Magnus can use that. He goes knight c5, hinting at knight e6. Maybe queen e5 is also a topic.
Is f3 possible now?
Yeah, it doesn't mix so well with his bishop on g5, so I would expect him to just go bishop f1. Try to not touch any of the pawns, not to weaken himself. He's taking his time. And he has played f3.
Wow, okay.
Knight e6, guess bishop back. Now d5 is no longer such a big deal. Yeah.
Yep.
3.
So do you trade off? No, okay, put your knight on the edge of the board. This is nice. Get a knight to f4.
Bishop f1, queen d2. It feels very risky strategically what Magnus is doing, which I'm sure is on purpose to provoke Anish a little bit, but it can also backfire. Bishop e5, I guess, yeah, he's trying to pile up on these dark squares. Queen coming over here.
And that looks a bit scary, so maybe g3 is in order. But the kind of, it's a little bit weakening.
No, we don't do that in the Chicken Chess Club. We don't.
You don't touch it?
No,
Okay.
no, he will play queen f2, trying to control
Okay.
that square manually.
I'm learning.
He's just, every time I say it, he does move the pawn. I said no f3 earlier, no g3. Oh boy.
I'm quite good at guessing the blunders, by the way.
No, f3 is weak.
Yeah.
Everything takes on d4, queen f6 directly.
Okay.
Magnus doesn't care, wants b5.
Okay, so Anish now down to 1 minute, and bishop e6. I kind of do, I agree with you. It does feel like things gone a little bit wrong for Anish.
Yeah, I don't think he's in trouble or anything, but with this g3, you have to keep an eye on these squares.
Well,
f4.
f4.
It's relentless.
This is my kind of chess, but if it's my kind of chess, this is not a good sign. Bishop goes back. Oh no, but hang on a second. Is there a pawn up for grabs? So maybe you're forced to take.
Guess you take and go rook a to d8 and take it from there. But looks like he could move f4. Such aggression.
Yeah. Oh, then knight d5 ideas as well.
Yeah, it was just as I said, I was wondering about it. I guess it's not lethal yet, but it's certainly
Yeah.
a theme.
Okay.
CB,
Is it
AB,
coming
maybe
now?
He's gonna do it now. No, a3. Magnus will move his queen away.
Oh, no, now no more knight d5.
He missed the chance, Anish. Also, now after the CB, AB, the black position looks fairly healthy again.
Hang on. But you do have bishop takes pawn,
No?
and then knight d5.
Even
Oh,
now
no,
he
the
can go
bishop takes there,
it.
yeah.
Oh, it's too late.
Okay. I was very proud of myself for that blunder. Okay, queen goes to f2.
It's like Magnus is about to seize the initiative. e5 knight to g4, or e5 d4.
Wow.
Using this pin on the e file.
Yeah, it's all gone a little bit wrong. What to do? Rook takes pawn.
Rook takes pawn, knight g4 is his
Yeah.
idea, then queen d2, and he wants to use this pin.
Well, we're going to see it in action because it's on the board.
Knight e2.
Knight e2. I guess bishop.
What's the trick?
Bishop
Mr. Klaus?
c.
Bishop c4, but then the king can go to h1. I'm pinning maybe.
Yep.
Magnus thinking about it. Yeah, he's done it. King h1 also played. Wow, we got 2 moves in a row.
Well done.
Right? This is a new record.
Yeah, I just had a look at the bar. The bar says completely winning for Magnus. Bishop takes
Looks like there's some
knight.
trick.
Okay, oh, there's bishop f3 at the end of
Is it
things.
checkmate? Bishop g2,
And then
knight f2,
knight f2.
king g1, knight h3,
You can win the queen. No.
king h1. It's not a smothered mate yet.
Oh no, but maybe you can just go knight to d.
Can go.
Knight to d3 or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't win yet, does it? Like knight d3, rook e3. Looks like there's always time to take everything. It's just a perpetual. Come on, Magnus. Show us some trick.
Knight.
So knight to e4. There's also queen to e3.
Queen to e3,
And
and then you have to. And then everything gets back to normal, so you don't necessarily want to
knight
do that.
d3,
Oh, is he?
queen e3
Nope,
as
it's
well.
a draw.
Yeah, draw. Says sorry, didn't see it. Let's ask the computer very briefly, because the computer said black was winning here. No, bishop takes e2, then it's a draw. He should have started with knight f2 check.
Okay.
And then apparently black is winning. King g2, knight d3. Right,
Aha, very
that
nice.
is credible. Takes.
Then knight takes rook check. Oh, queen f2, even better.
Too
Ooh.
many threats.
Bind. Okay, well, okay, so we still have a game going on. 2 games. Mamajarov, Wesley.
All right.
Could be just a boring draw. Actually, that looks like it could be just headed straight into
Just
perpetual. And yeah, actually, it's the last game remaining though. But yeah, so some interesting results so far. So Wang Hao beating Rajabov, and Anand beating his old rival Topalov. And as we saw, the game between Shakria and Mamajarov and Wesley, that's going to be ending in a draw. There's no way to escape the perpetual, and they've shaken hands.
What was Mamajarov doing? He was waving to someone? Looked like he was asking if he's allowed to take a draw.
Yeah. I like to take a look at the body language after these events, like who feels that they were winning and who feels that they were lucky.
Wesley's so polite.
He
He's
is
not
very.
gonna rub it in.
No. And was Wesley ever? What were they talking about? Was there any point?
I have no idea. I would guess. It's
Okay.
Unusual. Could have gone here. Yeah, but then this. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Next
No,
game.
okay. So, who's in the lead at the minute? Has anyone won 3 games in a row? No, in the lead it's Vishy Anand. He's on 2.5 out of 3, and then in second place, along with Arian Tari, it's Wang Hao, 2 points out of 3. Oh, and Magnus as well, 2 points out of 3. And
Oldest
everyone.
participant in the lead.
Oh, MVL lost all his games.
Come on, Maxime. You're not gonna get 5 white games like this.
No. Oh, this is.
I did ask him if he was playing to watch basketball like last night. He said yes. Maybe he's paying a high price for it. Staying up from 3 till 5. Need your rest. Game start at 6 p.m. It's early.
Yeah.
But Vishy, he keeps crushing. Didn't he win this rapid tournament, this super bet as well that he played?
Yeah, he won the rapid portion. So, but he didn't do as well in the Blitz, so he didn't win the event, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I feel that winning the rapid portion should count for something. it should be kind of like Superbet Rapid champion and then Superbet Blitz champion, rather than everything all in one.
I'm sure he was still pleased. I like this tweet by Anish. Anand retigered from his humorous.
Yeah.
Sarah. For some reason, every time Vichy plays an event, people ask him if he's planning to retire, which I don't think he is. So it's nice to see him win stuff.
I thought he was planning to retire. I thought he announced it, but okay, and especially because he's, well, I don't know. But then he's also running on the Djokovic's ticket as a vice president, so I guess.
But in chess, you don't have to retire, right? You can just stick around to play fewer classical tournaments. I think Vichy hasn't played a classical tournament since 2019 either, actually. So this is a big.
This is the Grand Prix,
comeback.
right? Yeah. Yeah, huge comeback. And arbiters getting their preparations ready.
What do we have next round?
Okay, let's have a look. What are the exciting matchups? So Magnus is playing Ariane. Wesley So is playing Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. That sounds like a quite exciting one. Topalov, Mamedyarov, Rajabov is going to face off against Vichy, and Anish Giri meets Wang Hao.
All right.
Where do you think the fireworks are going to happen?
I don't know. I was thinking about Wesley versus Maxime as well. I'm not sure it's promises fireworks.
Yeah, but
If
you know.
not, we can.
Yeah, if not, we can move on.
Commiserate with Maxime.
Yeah, let's cheer for Maxime. Let's try to be neutral, but it sucks to be on no points.
Yeah.
Have you ever started a tournament with no points? 3 games in a row?
I don't think I have. No, I've had my rough tournaments, but I think there was a draw in there
Yeah.
somewhere. But I've also not played a lot of Blitz tournaments against the world's best players. And also, I guess he won't care that much. He would just think, okay, I'll have 5 blacks in the classical and move on, right?
Well, my experience of these super grandmasters is that they care about every little detail and everything. They remember, and they feel pain and hurt and humiliation in a way that I probably wouldn't. I would be like, okay, oh no, bad day at the office, and then try and move on. But
Yeah, I think Maxime might be a bit of an exception. In general, I agree, but I think he's a little more, I don't know what the word is, relaxed about it or practical, thinking, okay, it's just a Blitz tournament. What matters is the classical, and I didn't do so well.
yeah,
But maybe it's also why he didn't do so well. Right?
yeah.
Hard to say. But yeah, I do agree. I think whenever these guys play chess, especially if it's some sort of official setting like here, they do.
Yeah.
They do care. It's just here, once you're out of striking distance for getting the prize, there's extra white, which, yeah, it's not, I've never done the math, how much it wins them in expectation or equity, but if we say white scores, let's say 55%, black 45, and it's 1 extra game, it's not earth-shattering, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, and no, for me it's not earth-shattering, but I do recall, I think in the American Championships, was it this year, that Sam Shanklin pulled the wrong number, and he was so upset.
Oh no, poor Sam.
Yeah.
What happened? He got extra blacks?
Yeah, I think so. You know, he'd worked out that this was a bad number for him, and, you know, he was incredibly upset and making faces, and it kind of felt like that was it. The tournament was finished.
But I think he had a bad run, Mr. Shanklin. I saw a tweet that, I don't know, 9 tournaments in a row he had gotten 1 more black than white, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's a curse.
That makes sense. Okay, that would explain why. I just thought that he was overreacting. Okay, the players are lining
Curse
up.
struck again.
No, yeah, okay, then I understand. Then I feel his pain. Okay, getting ready. Nice playing hall. Did you check it out?
I don't know where it is. Like, I was only at the
it's
food
downstairs.
section.
Okay. And we had a tour from one of the organizers, and he showed us where they're playing. It's a very impressive room, and there's even a confessional box. Okay, they're off, and
Which game?
Wesley
here we are.
against MVL. Hang on a second, I'm just going to check one thing. Okay, so it's like a reti.
Boring.
Oh! Ariane Tari won the first game of the tournament with the black pieces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats to Arjan. Last minute replacement, no? Because
Yeah,
Richard Rapport withdrew.
He only had 4 days to prepare, and he literally called, I think, Kirill Alexienko to come, and he's like, yeah, I'm in Spain, I'll come and join, and I'll be your second. And that was it. Now the light squared bishop is out. Still boring.
Incredibly dry. So it's a sort of reti opening.
Okay.
Bishop g4 is a bit interesting by Maxime because it indicates that he's happy to give up his bishop for this knight. And Wesley, also to my mind, somewhat interestingly, doesn't challenge the bishop with pawn to
Well, he didn't
pawn to
need to.
h3.
It was that obviously.
He still takes? What's going on?
I don't know.
Do you respect bishops, Mr. Maxime? That's very surprising to me.
Do you like bishops or knights?
I think it depends, but usually you don't see them just giving up a bishop for a knight without at least getting a tempo or some double pawns or some weaknesses. But maybe Maxime is saying, things aren't going well, I'll make sure I don't blunder anything, knights are much trickier in Blitz. Because in general, I think, like computer eval speaking, computer will say white is better here because of the bishops. But with shorter time controls, it's much easier to blunder some trick by a knight than some trick by a bishop, so I'm not sure if that's always priced in properly into the evaluation. But humans, the knights can be tricky with little time.
Yeah, it's true. I had a friend who was telling me that, you know, knights are almost stronger than rooks. I was like, yeah, that's a bit much. But I understood his point. Again,
Chess player?
Yeah, chess player, grandmaster. I was like, okay. Well, interesting. Interesting pawn structure on the board. I really do like this pawn structure, but I've kind of always been a bit cautious about pushing that pawn to c5, because my understanding is if black gets in e5 and it's still a middle game, then you gotta have the control over the center. And,
yeah, I don't like it here. I think in general it's fine if you can get c5 and f4, so you make sure e5 doesn't happen. But after rook e8, I'm not sure what he wants, maybe. Knight a4, try to fight against this. It's a bit committal, but he's arguing that knight on a6 is out of play.
Well, it is possible.
Here comes bishop g2. f4 is a threat.
F4 is a threat. But unfortunately, he put his queen on e7, so e5 isn't... Oh, okay, he's played it anyway. Pawn takes. And knight d7 was the big idea.
He had to do something before this f4 happened with the grip. Now the position is much sharper than it used to be some moves ago. I would guess white is better, but it's messier, which I think Maxime, naturally, he prefers messier stuff, and the knights get a little jumpy. So maybe he got what he wanted, even if objectively he might be worse.
Yeah, because in this type of position, I would be scared of moves like e4 and
Comes
on the board.
d4? What's going on?
d4, yep. And now just move the knight. I was thinking maybe trade a 7 knights, but okay, knight goes to d1.
d3?
Yeah.
He's not worried. Come on, Maxime. Push.
Maybe he can back it up.
Yeah.
What's he planning?
Well, rook d8
Rook
first.
d8.
Very logical as well. d3 doesn't run away. But he's still not doing it. Trying to bring his rooks into play first. Bishop h3 is asking this rook if he would like to go back.
And
Maxime.
oh
Focus.
no,
He's
this
not
is
focused. Rook d7 and rook d8 back, losing to tempi.
okay. He missed that bishop move.
Yeah, now white gets everything he wants. Rook
Yeah.
d1, stopping d3.
Ooh, and And okay, well, Maxim, you know, he's short on time, worse on position, just decides to complicate things, roll the dice, but it looks quite bad actually.
Yeah, he's also weakening his own king more than the enemy king. Once the bishop comes to f5, queen h5 is there. Bishop e3, his knight is stuck on a6, looks completely lost actually.
Yeah.
Queen h4, there's always queen to g4.
Queen, there's also queen h5 in the air. I quite like my direct threats of checkmates. Queen h4 played, but I was going to say trade queens. Would I be a fully fledged member of the Chicken Club if I suggest trading queens, or is this just good strategy?
No, I think we'll need more,
You need more
more
evidence.
for the application you've suggested. All kinds of aggressive things here. Takes, but he's dead lost. He's going for this endgame, pawn down against the two bishops. This is fairly resignable, actually. Maxim is just trying to get it over with.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough job for Maxim. 24 seconds on the clock, and Wesley has everything. I agree. Knight f6 check. Move the
Does
king.
everything.
Okay, he reroutes the bishop. It's okay.
It's hard to go wrong, right?
I mean, you've even got
So
bishop.
lost.
You've even got bishop b6. Get greedy.
Guess he'll just go a4, make sure none of these pawns yet
Yeah.
are under attack, and then start cashing in.
Now you can do it.
No, bishop d2.
Bishop d2. Okay. What was wrong with my greed? Nothing.
Nothing. I think Wesley, he just likes to keep everything protected. He didn't want to allow knight e6 even
Okay.
hitting the pawn on f4. So he wants to put his bishop here, exchange, and then take it if needed.
Okay, let's introduce the king. Ooh,
Mr. King.
Maxim on 3 seconds. Ah. Okay, he
Sweet.
gets a 2-second increment, but that's nothing.
It's just so lost. He's hoping to get one final knight jump in.
Okay, yeah, there is a jump, right?
Yeah, no, knight c5. Start getting a little jumpy. King f3, knight d4, king e3, knight c2 back. King f2. Making yourself work there a little. King e3, knight c2. He's playing
Okay.
on, but that's a big central pawn to blunder away. And it's what we talked about earlier, like objectively White was winning, but the knights are jumpy with little time.
And now Wesley seconds on the clock.
Maxim didn't take the central pawn, he took the b3 pawn instead, and is trying to push here. My best guess is he's still in trouble.
It totally is in trouble, but you never know. You know, two knights are worthy adversaries of 2 bishops in certain situations. But no, okay, not in this case,
Not
actually.
now the f pawn will do the job.
Oh no.
Sorry, that went very quickly. We couldn't cover all the action, but in the end, Wesley prevailed. King g7. That would just be bishop takes c5. You can't take the other bishop because of the threat. So, yeah, not the cleanest game ever, but Maxim doesn't seem like himself. He's just missing basic things.
Yeah, for a moment, no, it looked like he was gonna get something, get half a point. You know, he managed to make a nice little comeback, and then I think he got a bit greedy, chose the wrong pawn. Okay, but you know, seconds to spare, happens. And okay, so we have 1 game remaining, and that's between Anish and Wang Hao. Is it? And what do we think about this ending? Anish has 1 pawn extra, but it's a knight and rook against a rook and bishop.
I think Anish is going to win. It might be a draw objectively if Black does everything perfectly, but with so little time, You can just keep jumping around, improving your position, asking questions. It's going to be very hard to defend.
I like the defensive setup that Wang Hao has. Bishop is controlling all the knight squares. That's it. Do nothing. Just move the rook around.
He has to find a way to ask a question. Here he comes, king to d6 and rook to f5. Is that asking any questions? Or is he just pulling the king further away?
Just move it back. Move the rook along the...
Okay, he's simplifying. That should help the defender.
Yeah, the players are playing so quickly, it's just impossible for the live board to keep up. And,
Yeah, I'm just watching
yeah.
the real chessboard there. Position is a draw.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, even if in the worst case scenario, if he has to give up his bishop for a pawn, it's still a pretty relatively easy draw as well. Rook, jack, don't. Yeah, there's no way to break through. And was that a draw offer?
Never. Anish is gonna play till the very end, which is also good strategy. If you can no longer lose, you play on forever, even if the winning chances are slim.
There's just no entry points.
There comes
Okay,
the knight, king f5, making progress. g6, bishop takes g6 is a problem. So he can't do it. He waits for a move. King e6, now there's no check. Rook c5 was strange. Should have gone rook b5, there was a check.
Okay, now I guess the rook should give a check, drive away the king.
He's come closer, but still not close enough. Looking for the next cunning maneuver. Knight g4, knight f6, but he hesitates because there's bishop g6. And he sees the clock, 8 seconds left, so he moves something. Wang Hao stays put. e4. Looks like the wrong direction, but
Yeah.
gotta try something.
And how many moves have they made without pushing a pawn?
No, this g5 wasn't that long ago. He can go for a while.
Okay.
So I can't see here.
Okay, 6 seconds. Let's go back to the game board where Anish is trying in vain, but okay. Here we go. Rook and knight against rook. Easy draw.
Yeah,
Cut the
that's
king
supposed
off.
to be one of the simpler ones, as long as the king is not in the corner. What is Anish doing? He's struggling to move any piece. He throws his king around, his rook.
Yeah. Was it difficult to play chess when you have seconds on the clock?
But you get 2 extra seconds, you should be able to move.
I don't know. I think I would be in that same situation, so I'm not going to criticize them.
He cut the king off on the other side of the board.
Yep.
No
King is-
progress, but still nice. Wang Hao doesn't seem overly impressed. But he is down to 4 or 5 seconds all the time.
Yeah. And all the while, Anish, in his favor, is building up time on the clock. So
And
that's
whoa,
good.
he allowed king c7?
Oh.
No, he managed. He managed to get checkmated.
No.
King a6, rook b6,
Oh, no.
and king a8, rook b8. Oh, tough break.
Oh, that's tough.
This position after knight b4. The going got a little tougher already, but I would guess a rook move on the c file.
Yeah.
Still holds, while after rook to d1, king c7. It's already gone. Oof. Good job chipping away by Anish, and you could see the stress of making these moves with 2 seconds on the clock every time. Wang Hao, under the pressure of the clock, blunders in the end and loses this fairly drawn endgame. Yeah. Anish wore him down.
Yeah. Well, impressive stuff from Anish, actually. I was very dismissive of this. I was like, yes, it's a draw, just move on. But obviously, you did warn me. Other people have warned me. It's not as trivial when you have seconds on your clock. And yeah, so Magnus did beat Ariane. Wesley, as you saw, did beat MVL. Veselin lost to Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. And Timur Rajabov drew against Vishy Anand.
What's the standings? Vishy.
Top dog, along with Magnus Carlsen. And in third and fourth place is Anish Giri and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. And yeah, spare a thought for poor MVL, who is yet to get off the scoreboard. Problem. But yeah.
What's the over-under for what Maxim's gonna score at the end? It's 9 rounds total. Like, it's gonna have more than 0, right?
Yeah, for sure. He has to win a game.
But less than 2 at this
No,
point?
I think he'll make a comeback. I think he'll get 3.5.
3.5? Wow, that's optimistic. No, I'm saying 1.5.
You're 1.5.
Yeah.
There's still a few games left, right? There's 5 games.
5 games left,
Yeah.
but he looks like he's not that involved. 1.5 is only -2. He can lose 2 more, win 1. Can lose 3 more.
Yeah, if he loses 1 more, that's it. I'm agreeing with you. He'll be lucky to score a point. Because to lose 5 games in a row, that's just mentally super tough. And, okay, the players,
What do they call 5 losses in a row? That's
the Olympic
Olympiad?
medals. The Olympics medals. I know that.
4 is an Audi, right?
Oh, I didn't know that one. I knew that 2 is Kingside Castling, 3 is Queenside Castling. And I remember someone laughing at me because I had Queenside Castling, and he was like, oh, are you going to go for the Olympic medals? And I was like, well, what do you mean by that? And he goes, 0. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get your point. I did not appreciate that comment. So, yeah,
Mean.
Odie.
I think so.
How do you pronounce Odie? Is it
In German, it's Audi.
Audi?
So
Okay.
I would guess he would
Yeah,
say
he needs
Audi.
to leave the board, splash some cold water in his face, jump up and down. Come on, Maxim. Get
Maxim
off the
Vachilev-Graf.
scoreboard.
Not playing the candidates. Rumors are saying he might not play the Olympiad either, because the other French top player, Ali Reza, allegedly is not playing. So,
But you will be at the Olympiad, right? You are the coach for the German team.
yeah,
Yeah.
very excited. I'll sit there, read my book, make some draws. No, it will be fun. Right?
You'll be there bringing tea and coffee, monitoring the air climate.
For sure.
If your players ask you for advice, complicated position, they say, Jan, should I take a draw? It's okay. Or will you say 9?
Never. No, the truth is that sitting there during the games, and I'm not even sure I'll be there all the time, is the driest job of being a captain. Other than when they're playing, you usually have stuff to do, like helping with preparation or giving inspirational speeches, like, okay, these guys seem very strong, 4 draws is fine, don't overdo it, like stuff like that. But while they're playing, there's really not that much you can do. You're not allowed to talk to anybody inside the playing hall, obviously.
Yeah.
You can't have your phone, so the only thing that you're allowed to do is really bring in a non-chess book and read it there. So that's where I do all my reading at
Well,
Chess
when it
Olympiad.
comes to the women's team, actually, it's a little bit different. You have to look after your team. Like, you have to monitor the air climate. You have to kind of see if the air is dry. You have to kind of get them drinks. You have to observe if they're, like, tired or not tired.
Well, what do you do if they're tired?
You bring coffee.
Okay.
Coffee and tea. There's a famous story about one captain. His top board had blundered a piece. But the problem was her opponent was making such a meal out of it that he was like, okay, I need my top board to carry on playing. I need my top board just to not give up hope. And so he thought about it and he was like, well, the only way I can just give her the motivation to be sat there at the board is if I bring her some tea and cake. So every move she made, he brought tea, cake, some incentive to keep her at the board. And it worked. She drew. She drew and the team won the match.
It's both a beautiful and a scary story from a team captain's perspective.
So maybe I've increased your job role. You have to monitor, right? You have to kind of like see if the other team captain's behaving badly. And okay, the players are kicked off, and I didn't check what pairing should we go for. Wang Hao against Carlsen.
I'm a bit curious because this might be our chance to see a decisive Mamedyarov-Rajabov game.
Yes, let's go for it. But there's one thing though.
Exchange Slav, as you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Big fan of this opening.
The thing is about this. Here, the players can offer a draw. In the main tournament, they're not allowed to offer a draw until move 30, and when it's a draw, we have an Armageddon match. Here, they can just pack up and go, yep, on to game 6.
Azeri top players fighting here against each other in the exchange Slav. Mamedyarov taking his time here, not so easy to decide to play bishop f4, but he's managed.
Yeah, that is the main thing. And is he going to go, e6?
Rare move, bishop f5 is the main line.
Yeah, or you go a6 is my favorite. But e6 was always something that I only played when I felt like a chicken.
Yeah,
okay.
We have different definitions of chicken. Like in my school of chicken chess, you play very aggressively trying to force a draw. Well, this I would never do because you're just sitting there suffering for a long game if white wants with a passive bishop. Like this.
So all my life,
completely wrong.
I've misunderstood the term chicken.
Yeah, no, you gotta try to.
I gotta try
play
to
active to get rid of the game, not to play a long game where you're worse. That's
okay.
the nightmare scenario.
What is the word for playing a long game in a worse position?
I don't know. That's masochist.
Yeah, don't we need an animal for it though? If chicken has been repurposed.
I don't know. An animal that would play long games in a worse position. That's
well, maybe chat.
tough to think of.
Chat can help us out. How someone said the French school of suffering. Ha ha ha. Maybe that's a comment from Watia. Yeah. Oh, Tortoise says Ham Hock Gin. Ham Hock Gin.
I don't know. They look comfortable to me. I don't think they like suffering.
They're actually quite fast.
Yeah.
When they need to be. This is the thing. I've seen it in action.
Same with Mamedyarov. He's down to 1.5 minutes, but he'll speed up when he needs to. I don't know. This game is not as fun as I was hoping it would be.
Yeah. And what do you think of the stuntman Mike who says rabbit?
A rabbit?
Rabbit. Could that be? Maybe.
A rabbit sitting there passively for a long time? That sounds completely wrong.
They would turn and run away, wouldn't they?
That sounds way off. I'm lacking...
Yeah, I'm kind of lacking one as well.
knowledge of the animal kingdom.
Okay.
Sloth? I think a sloth is fine.
A sloth is a great animal.
It's a grey animal.
Have you
Very
seen that?
slow.
Have you seen that film Zootopia, I think it's called, or Zootropolis? I don't know, it's a children thing.
In German it's called Zoomania, because we think that's a cooler title than Zootopia, because it's very complicated with the Utopia.
Okay.
So we call it Zoomania. But yeah, I've seen it many times. It's an excellent movie.
Excellent, yeah. I particularly like the sloth there.
I know, I thought the sloth scene was a bit slow, but I do enjoy the rabbit action.
Yeah. And, well, is this worth us continuing? Should we stick?
This game?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd rather talk Zootopia.
Okay.
It's an excellent movie also for adults. There are all these references to popular movies like Training Day, The Godfather.
Oh, is there? Yeah. I didn't catch it. I just enjoyed the wolf scene, you know. Okay.
Okay, we're switching.
Okay,
Maxime, will you score half a point?
please.
Topalov, he hasn't played chess since 1998.
Queen retreats.
Queen 2.
Let me just do a material count. Oh, Maxim is up some pawns. 1 pawn.
1 pawn.
That's
but
good.
His king looks a little unsafe. But after knight b5, d4 is hanging. I think Maxime's scoring in this one.
Ah, see, this is all he needs to now. If he manages to win,
All he needs are 2.5 out of 4, and he's got your score.
yeah,
But he hasn't won yet.
no.
Rook e3, knight d4.
Rook e3, knight d4 is maybe an issue. What else is there?
No, just naming squares. Knight g4.
Knight g4 does look good, but he's actually...
He's done it. Knight g4. Knight takes d4.
But it
Queen
is...
c5.
Okay, so is he going... I don't know what the plan is. Okay, rook e3, step the queen back.
Queen d1, queen h5, h3, rook h3. That's the plan.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. I like this move because you defend along the second
that
row.
was smarter.
Yeah, that would
That
have
was
been
the
a...
idea.
It's a nice idea, though.
Fantastic. But now, the queen defends.
Mm-hmm.
Queen d2, queen h5, h3. It's very hard for me to pronounce h3. It's 2 tough sounds for a German in a row.
Okay.
I think we should replace it with a3. It's much easier to say.
H. You can say H. If that's-
H?
Is that easier for you?
No.
Okay. Or you can say, you can be like London about it and go free instead of 3.
3, yeah.
Free? Oh,
h3.
free? Well, it's loads of people in London, they either go F or like brother is V or a F.
Yeah.
And then you sound like you lived in London for a while.
Wow, that sounds so sophisticated.
Yeah.
King g1, what's going on here?
Hang on.
Maxime, you messed it up again.
Oh no.
King e2, queen
King E2,
f3.
it's checkmate.
Oh, so you had to give the queen.
No.
Just to illustrate.
And that is a
Oof.
beautiful checkmate.
Not for Maxime.
No, he is on the suffering side of things. And okay, 7 seconds. No time on the clock. Okay, is there any hope for, you know, Maxime based on his past d-pawn?
Nah.
Wishful thinking, isn't it?
Well, some hope. d5. There's also the threat of rook e8 checkmate.
Yeah.
But it's a
you know,
queen
there's
taking
a
all these
queen
pawns.
and you can just go, you can block a long diagonal with the f pawn as the players are just doing, and yeah, it's gonna be the h pawn that nails it.
Still no points for Maxime. Veselin Topalov, the veteran, looks very happy.
Yeah. Oh,
How old is Veselin these days? He's born in 75, so he's like 47.
47.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen? Can we just replay that tactic again?
Ah, I thought you meant his age. You can't stop.
Yeah, the tactic, because suddenly that just appeared on the board. And how did that? Because you kind of pointed that out moves ago.
But he did it in a more cunning way, because Maxime must just have missed this construction, which is very nice. You can't go queen g2 because then the rook is
Yeah.
hanging. You can't go king h1 because of knight f2, and king f1, which he must have relied on, knight h2. The king can't run. Looks like he's safe. Rook up and the king is running, but somehow this is checkmate.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if there was no defense or if he blundered with rook a to e1. Yeah, he did blunder. Rook a1, serious blunder. Set knight to f3. Also tough, but less tough than h3.
Well, there's one game remaining. Shall we dash to that one? It's Ariane
Hence.
Tari against Wesley So, and it does look like
Nah, it's lost.
lost. Yeah,
It's too lost. What happened in the Azeri battle? Oh, it was a draw in the end.
it's a draw.
41 moves though.
Yeah, and Magnus beat Wang Hao, and Vichy lost to Anish Giri. And how did that game kind of pan out? Because I think, oh, Vichy was winning. If we fast forward,
Going.
it's looking good.
Okay, looks like a mess. No, where? Ah, now he's winning.
No, it's good.
Oh, what happened, Vichy?
Well, his king is a little bit in a mating net, so that's
It's coming out. Still stuck somewhat. A7? Oh no!
oh.
He must have missed Rook A3. Now, what did he miss?
Can you not just move the king?
Yeah, he could have gone King C2. And he seems like he's in good shape. Well, he went here. Takes, and now it's apparently lost because this king does end up in a mating net. Oh, this mate in one.
Oh.
I guess time was running out. Maybe he did lose on time while playing A7.
Oh dear.
What's the scores? Vichy and Anish should both be on track to get that extra white game, no?
Yep. So Magnus is on 4, Anish 3.5, Anand 3, Wesley 3, and still playing. So and Shakriel on 3. So those are the players who are in the desired seedings.
Wesley
And-
did win, picked up a bunch of the pawns here.
Okay, he did win.
I guess the scores. Are they updated? Yeah, maybe
Okay.
they're updated, yeah. It's hard to tell because Maxime now always says 0, so you can't use him as like
Yep,
a
that was the
guide when
updated
scores
score.
change. We will go on a very quick break and then be back with round number 6. Let us know what game you want to see. Carlsen Wesley, Topalov Tari, Rajabov MVL, Giri Mamedyarov, Van Hao Anand.
Well,
Probably Carlsen So, right?
yeah, Carlsen So probably feels like a good one, but I want to keep an eye on MVL because I really hope that he gets off the scoreboard. 5 losses in a row, that's tough. But anyway, we'll see you after the break.
This is John. John loves to study chess. This is David. David loves to study chess as well, but efficiently. John spends more time setting up the board and figuring out what's on the page of his book than he gets to study. David likes to take it easy and use his time wisely. David has finished his exercise for today. John should try the same.
Seriously? chess is an intelligent system that analyzes your game, prevents mistakes, and develops recommendations for improving your skill. Phew.
Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Ah, here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. Oh, what are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine. Fine.
So that I give up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
skin for skin, sin for your sin. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. The damage is done, but I don't care. You're worth the cost, but I don't care. All I ever wanna be is eyes for eyes, lips for lips, skin for skin, sin for sin. Eyes for eyes, lips for lips, skin for skin, sin for your sin. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. Feel it now, 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 now. Think about it later. All I ever wanna be is eyes for eyes, lips for lips, skin for skin, sin for your sin.
Welcome back, and it's round 6 of the Norway Chess Blitz tournament, and so far Magnus Carlsen is in the lead with 4 points out of 5, and Anish Giri is in second place with 3.5 points in 5, and Vishy Anand doing incredibly well along with Wesley So and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov all on 3. And spare of thought for poor Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, who is yet to score, so he's not going to get one of the top 5 placings. And the players, they're playing for what seeding pairings that they're going to have. So ideally the players want to finish in the top 5 spots. It's a 10-player single round robin, and the clock starts within 3 minutes and 2-second increment from move 1. And yeah, let's move on to the pairings of round 6 and see which are the exciting matchups. And we see already that Magnus is going to be facing Wesley So, and the two were actually incredible tour rivals on the Champions Chess Tour last year. And then we also have Vasilij Topalov, who's making a comeback. He hasn't played active chess since 2020. And Aryan Tari and Timur Rajabov is facing off against the unlucky Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Anish Giri plays Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Wang Hao Vishy Anand. So I guess we go and follow the big guns.
Yeah,
Magnus
gotta go
against Wesley.
with Magnus against Wesley. They both look well on track to secure that extra white. The battle will be for 5th place, not so much for 1st place, because although it's nice, it doesn't change much. You can't get 2 extra whites. So we'll keep an eye on the middle of the scoreboard.
Yep.
Magnus, 1a4.
A4.
Wesley. Didn't Magnus play like f3, king f2 against Wesley at some point? He's
No.
been experimenting.
He
or
did that.
experimenting is
He did
strong.
F3 against Duda in
Yeah,
the Champions Chess Tour. He did H4 against Wei Yi.
yeah, d3, c3. I think he also played f3, king f2 against Wesley at some
Yeah,
point.
he did. And did in some classical, not a classical game, in some rapid Blitz game online. And okay, how's he going to make a4 make sense? So I'm guessing he has to follow that up with d4 or something, but he's gone for some Reti
Well,
setup.
A4 is not that weakening, probably.
No.
White is not that much worse. But of course, black has a...
But shouldn't
choice
you be
of us.
responding with e5 to all these a5s, h5s?
I haven't studied that much A4 theory yet. I know there are certain players, like my dear friend Lucas van Forest, who are going for this position and playing A4 here if they start with one E4.
Ah,
So maybe
okay.
that was Magnus's plan. But I also don't think he's really looking for an advantage. It's more like, see how much goofiness he can get away with. But the position they have now, it's actually a theoretical position where A4
It's normal, right?
is, yeah, not the main move, but can't be that bad. Maybe Wesley goes A5.
What about c5? Okay, on the board. Because that kind of makes sense. You know, c5 and then maybe capture on d4. Oh, but Magnus.
Not happening. Takes. Knight A6. Well, a normal setup for white would be knight C3, takes, and bishop to E3. It's a theoretical position with cards reversed and the pawn still being back here. But there, the A pawn would actually help a little. Yeah, he does do that. I think he only does nonsense in the first move, and then he starts playing well.
Does Magnus ever discuss with you guys the nonsense?
I think
Or does
mainly
he?
with Peter Heine, who's his head coach, who's here, who has to endure all the idiocy as well. Like they had to study 1F3, but no, for the World Championship match, 1A4 wasn't discussed in detail that much. I can reveal.
Was it played in Blitz? No.
I don't think so. No. Now it makes perfect sense.
No,
like
now it's
A5, bishop
perfectly.
B7.
It works
Well,
beautifully.
bit better. Putting some pressure.
Yeah.
Bishop will go to D4 at some point.
He does
comes.
this. He even did this with 1H4 on the tour just last week, you know. He made it look good. Even though it was called Dirty Harry by Simon Williams. Okay.
Pawn to E6, yeah, just a normal position. Okay, 3, maybe intending to play Queen A1.
That makes a lot of sense.
And of course it puts some psychological pressure on Wesley, because now if he loses, he not only loses, but he loses to 1A4, which is more annoying. And that's typically because when you're playing online Blitz, you get a lot of people playing dodgy openings, and sometimes they always have this justification, right? If they lose, okay, but I play 1A4. Well, I don't think Magnus thinks like that, but if they win, they also humiliated you by playing 1A4.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot for Wesley.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually what happened to Jan Christoph Duda after F3. And Super Patzer in the Chess 24 chat was telling us that decades ago, Bent Larsen wrote that 1A4, H4, perfectly okay.
I don't think he meant on the first move. He said, if in doubt, push the flank pawns.
Was that the correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's ancient Scandinavian wisdom that Magnus is employing here. Magnus, big Bent Larsen fan, though. I think it was his first chess book, or he mentioned.
Actually, most Scandinavians have started their chess career by reading Bent Larsen's Good Move Guide or something. I think I read a photocopied version of it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a difficult book to get hold of.
I've never seen it. Do you consider yourself a Scandinavian nowadays?
You know, the funny thing is, after the pandemic, something happened. I stayed in Norway for longer than 2 weeks. That was very, very unusual.
Did you stay in Norway during the pandemic?
Yes, I was absolutely, you know, I couldn't leave the country. So I stayed in Bergen for like 6 months, and lo and behold, I started thinking like a Scandinavian. And over Christmas, I went back to the UK for the first time in a year and a half, and I was like, the air's a bit, what's the word, kind of like polluted here. And I was a bit shocked at my thinking. I've never ever thought about that in the UK, ever. And I went to London, and I thought, London's cool, but I like Bergen better. And I was like, I don't know. I think I have to spend more time in England. I have to shake this way of thinking. It's too much.
So your list of cool cities is now Bergen 1?
No,
London 2,
Bergen's never ever
Paris
been
3.
on the top 50. But I mean, it's just I've been in it so long that I kind of forced myself to become quite passionate about it.
Gotcha. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, but the weather's so bad. It's just relentless. But anyway, I'm going to UK anyway. Back again, I'm looking forward to that. And I'll be playing the Olympiad in India, playing for England. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And the Rook defends. So white, I feel like white is slightly better here.
I like this queen on b4 though, Wesley. Found a way to stop white from doing anything too active on the queen side, tying the rook to the defense of this pawn. I can make some active moves, bishop c5 maybe, to simplify further. I think he's done well. Oh no, he grabbed the pawn. Vicious.
I saw this kind of trend that Wesley was adopting in the super bet. He was grabbing all kinds of poison pawns.
Maybe it's not poison, maybe it's just a clean
this
pawn.
one could
I
be.
just missed who was attacked. Bishop
But it is
c3.
trapped. I mean,
Well, it's hitting that guy.
but maybe you can kind of
Queen
cage
c5.
it in and just kind of say, hey, no rook for you.
Let's find out. Maybe like queen c5.
You can kind of go bishop f1 or bishop f. Oh, the player's playing incredibly quickly because Magnus has got no time on the clock.
Our board is not
Yeah, our board is not updating, so maybe we
catching
should
up.
just
Now
follow.
it comes.
Oh,
Magnus not in great shape here. Pawn down. No more a pawns. And suffering. Just looks lost. He has to take and then takes. Rook takes. Bishop b4. Is there a trick?
Oh.
No. Wesley hesitated
winning,
for a moment,
right?
but yeah, Wesley wins that one.
and well,
Punishing.
we should
1a4.
check out the moves.
I don't think it was because of the opening, frankly.
No,
but
no, the opening looked good, but
Check by Wesley.
somewhere. Do we have an update of the live board?
Yeah, the live board is here. No, I don't know, somewhere around here. Maybe this a takes b6 was a bit much. Magnus lost control, and this queen b4 was nice. Now bishop b5, the pawn already drops. Wesley just converted with ease, it looked like.
Yep,
In the end, yeah, Carlsen took this, but after rook d3,
it's all over.
there's this pin. And any pawn endgame is winning. Black doesn't even have to hurry.
Yeah.
b5.
Shall we quickly check out the closing moments of Rajabov against Maxim Vashnagrov? Because it looks like Maxim is going to win his game.
Ooh. Maxime, don't lose on time now.
No.
And Rajabov resigns. First point for Maxime. And a blow for Rajabov, who was in the middle of the pack. Now he moves to -1, making it harder to get that extra white game.
So let's have a recap of the results then. So we saw Magnus lose to Wesley So, Topalov beat Ariantari, and Rajabov lost to MVL, as we saw. And okay, the remaining two games were a draw. So quite an exciting round. Of course, Rajabov, as you've highlighted, dropping from the middle of the pack. But it's great news for Maxim fans, because it's sad when your chess hero starts with 5 losses. 1 victory. Do you think you manage now to score another one?
I'm
No.
sticking with my 1.5 prediction.
One and
One
a
more
half.
draw.
Okay. And what did I say? 3.5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, way to go.
Yeah, that's a big ask. Okay, well, this means the leaderboard is like this. It's now a 3-way tie between Anish Giri, Wesley So, and Magnus Carlsen. So not much in it. Vishy Anand is on 3.5. Shakhriyar Mamedarov is also on the same points. But okay.
Topalov doing great.
Yeah.
50%. Not rusty.
Nope. And Rajabov slipping to 2.5 points. So let's take a look at round 7 pairings. who do we want to follow? We have Anand against Carlsen. That looks like a good
It's not a
matchup.
bad one.
Mamajarov against Wang Hao. Also could be quite sharp. MVL against Anish. And Aryan against Rajabov. And finally, Wesley against Topalov.
The problem is all the non-Anand Carlsen pairings don't involve Vichy or Magnus. I think we have to go with Anand Carlsen.
Yep,
Battle of the World Champions.
I agree. That is the game we'll be following. And what do you think? Magnus will bounce back?
I don't know. Like, now he lost one, so he can't feel 100% secure about qualifying. I'm not sure if it's time to start playing it safe for him, but he will want that extra white.
Yeah.
I would guess will be a solid draw, but I've been wrong before.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. And Magnus.
Well,
Yeah,
they just had a break.
They just
Come on.
Exactly. They should be getting ready in the zone. Okay, there you can see the arbiters getting the stickers up, and we'll be really curious to see how Vichy does, because as you kind of quoted Anish, he's been retired. He's been playing some awesome chess. Do you think you can manage to score a point?
I think, well, he's always been pragmatic. He'll be very happy if he finishes in the first half as well. But yeah, Vichy with white, I would expect a very solid game, like some Italian. I think Magnus is done experimenting on the first move. And sorry, I shouldn't make this game sound boring before it has even started. Like, will be fireworks. The Tiger from Madras against the Wizard from Oslo.
Yeah, but if it's going to be Sicilian, it's probably going to be one of these kind of Rossolimo Sicilians, Moscow, some kind of sideline, close the position up and tense maneuvering.
Oof.
Yeah. Does this count for the chicken school of chess? No.
No, it's
No,
not
not
so
really.
much about the opening, and I think Magnus, he's not becoming a member anytime soon.
No. So which grandmaster kind of really symbolizes the chicken school of chess?
The problem is, well, I mean it as a compliment. Many
Yeah.
people misunderstand it
I
as
love
an
it. Yeah.
insult, so it's always tricky. Like Anish, for example, he wouldn't want to be a member. He's like Groucho Marx. He wouldn't be a member of any club that would gladly accept him as president, as ambassador. He's not going to have it. But other than that, yeah. To me, it's mainly the solid, well-prepared guys that prioritize not losing the game in certain situations. In this tournament,
Yeah.
I don't know. The names that would usually be named would be Rajabov, Wesley maybe, although recent Wesley is a bit more aggressive. We have to review his application. Yeah, Anish on a good day. Who else is there? Maxime, nah.
No, Maxim, not at all.
Aryan, I don't know. Yeah, I think he could potentially be there, but I also don't think so. Wang Hao, no, I don't think he's afraid. I think he sometimes might lack motivation and then retire, but I don't think he's afraid of losing per se. Mamajarov, nah.
No, Mamajarov is absolutely not a member.
Topalov, no.
Nope.
Vichy, nah. He hates losing, but well, everyone hates losing, but I don't think it influences his decisions in complex situations. But yeah, Vichy, he'd be great to have on the ticket, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would be.
But he's already taken.
He is, unfortunately. He's moved on to greener pastures. Okay, and I reckon E4. Yes.
E4, E5. I don't know, Magnus, he keeps mixing it.
Did he?
G6. Is this board gonna give us some moves? Here comes some
Okay,
moves.
finally. Okay, so it's some modern. Okay, it's the old 150 attack.
H4, Vichy.
He's not afraid.
Not concerned. Going with the times. H4 and F3, very aggressive setup.
Yeah, I kind of always thought that they did F3, Queen D2, but okay, maybe H4 is the new way of doing this. Oh, but hang on a second, can't you not put your knight on H3 and then put it on G5 and...
Yes. It's pronounced A3. Here comes the knight. I guess you could take it, but then you're down a bishop. If not, it's a typical drawback of going H5 after H4.
Yeah.
You have to live with that horsey. So Magnus takes it.
Yeah, rook takes.
Now he's gonna try to get in C5.
Yeah, you have to go for that. But then, you know...
Like BD7 plate, long castles.
Yes.
She's probably thinking, this kid thinks I've never seen the modern before.
Yeah. I used to play like this, with the white pieces. But I was always a little bit scared about C5, if that's the break. And obviously the black king should not be castling anywhere.
Queen C8, very subtle. I guess he didn't like C5 just yet, because of maybe takes, and if knight takes, there's pawn to E5.
Is now the...
recapture, because this is under attack. He's trying to prepare it.
What about, can you go D5, or is that just... Okay, king B1, nice safety move.
D5 I don't like.
Okay.
And opening up the poor bishop, but that bishop might jump into action anyway. Now it's more of a Sicilian structure. D takes C, knight takes C5. Arnold shuffling his knight around.
Okay, well now...
Bishop H6, yeah.
Makes sense. Soften up the dark squares. Now the only thing missing in this position is for white to maneuver the knight away and get G4 in. That's how I play chess.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to do though.
Yeah, we don't care about pawns. they're not our pawns.
Go G4. This rook on H3 looks a little stupid. Is he gonna bring it back or just leave it there? I don't know. It comes rook G3.
Well, there is a big square on G5. Why not put...
Knight takes E4, but Magnus is not interested. I like Black's position actually. Looks like Black's attack could be a bit faster here. A4, B3.
What about, you know... Okay, this is nice and threatening, as you say, knight F5. Big threat.
Guess you go away. No, now he takes.
Okay, the player is playing super quickly and...
So after knight D4, Carlsen takes here, exchanging his two knights for a rook and 2 pawns. I guess that's the idea. And the position remains very complex, Carlsen saying. Let's exchange queens too.
No.
Anand doesn't want to.
Yeah, I agree with Anand. But that's maybe bad news.
No, I think he's right, because with these 2 minor pieces, you want to keep as many pieces as possible on the board.
You want them to attack. Fortunately, the light square bishop isn't great.
Yeah, rook C8 to stop it from coming here. Anand ahead on the clock, 2 minutes versus 1, has played very quickly. On to G3.
I don't really see a good way to harmonize the pieces.
Anand improving them step by step. Small moves, bishop E2, queen D2. This position does look stable. It's not easy for Black to come up with any pawn breaks. Magnus wants to go rook FC8, but doesn't pull the trigger. Changes his mind to rook E5. Once again going for a queen exchange. He wants queen to E3.
It's a nice plan, right? Because the pawns are easier to push in an endgame, so...
Bishop F3, queen E3. And Anand again sidesteps. Sorry, the board is not...
I guess he moved to queen
catching
G2.
up. Yeah. Queen G2 played.
And I guess knight c6 is in the air. Yep.
There it comes. Rook f5 does look like a good counter. Attacking the bishop. Knight d4, quite draw offer?
Yes.
No, not happening. Goes for the rook. Queen e1 check. And that's the quiet draw offer. But Carlsen continues. Going to c5.
Okay, knight.
Knight
Take the
takes
pawn.
e7. What is going on? Rook e5, knight d5. Rook e1.
Bishop
Yes,
d1. Rook d1.
He took the bishop, I guess. Rook d1, rook e8, and they're a bit uncoordinated. But here, does black have enough initiative? He's given up a pawn to keep the game going. Queen to d2, rook 8, e2, then the queen takes it, yeah? Pawn to a3,
Just
trying
leave it.
to weaken.
Yeah, leave the pawn and just move something.
She just keeps taking stuff. Queen takes b4. Not concerned.
Okay, well, if you can, I guess you can do it.
e4? I don't understand anything.
I guess his idea is that if the queen retreats, you've got rook
Can
e2.
you take? Just take everything. What's Carlsen doing? Should be lost. King b2, knight c3. Or knight c3 first. Yeah, this has gone horribly wrong.
Okay. Now it's time to
See,
get pushing.
looks like he might be steaming a little bit after that loss against Wesley. He's avoided repetitions, really tried to crush Vichy here with black. But the old tiger is just quietly taking all his stuff and looks well on track to win here.
Okay, but is it that clear cut? Because after all, black will get the h pawn and.
Now isn't this a pawn just
Yep,
too fast?
it is.
He does
And,
resign.
he does
or
resign.
He lost on time, I'm not sure which one. I think he lost on time.
Yeah. Wow, 2 losses in a row for Magnus.
Oof.
No, not good news for the Norwegian. He's so good at coming back, but I guess he should have just, as you mentioned, taken that draw and.
Didn't listen. He's trying to actually play chess, entertaining games. That's the wrong approach.
And all the games have finished, so it's been a great round for the white pieces. So Vasily Graf actually beat Giri. So MVL, he might have started appallingly, so he's playing the role of spoiler. And Aryan Tari beat Rajabov, and Wesley So beat Topalov.
So my prediction already can't come true anymore. Well, your 3.5 are still very much in play.
3.5 is a bit ambitious. Yeah. But okay, one draw, Mamedyarov against Hang. So Wesley, well, this means Wesley So is now in the lead with 5 points, Vishy Anand and 4.5 points, and Anish Giri, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Magnus Carlsen all in 3 to 5th place with 4 points. So
Yeah, Magnus fell from 1 to 5, but it's still good enough for the quote-unquote qualification. He has a cushion of 1 point ahead of Wang Hao.
yeah, that is a significant cushion, but still 2 rounds left. Anything can happen, as we've seen. One more loss and he will have a better tiebreak. Or then it comes down to Sonnenberger system and wins with wins and then wins with black. And
I have no idea.
I don't
What are you
know
talking about?
yeah, I have no idea as well what I'm talking about, but I don't even know what Sonnenberger system is. Do you? I've never been one of these chess players who sits down and works out the scores.
I think it basically means if you score more points against people that do well in the tournament, you get a higher Sonnenberger score, while if you do better against the people at the bottom of the table, you get a weaker score. But I honestly don't even know what the rules are here. If it's first is direct encounter, then second, sometimes it's wins with black, or in the Sonnenborn Berger here, it's very confusing.
Yeah, I agree. I think direct encounters are
That's
a
usually
good.
first. Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah, no, the first one is Sonnenborn
It
Berger
is.
system, and then it's most wins, and then it's most wins with the black pieces, and then finally, drawing of lots.
Ooh, let's hope it doesn't come to that. It really only matters for 5th place.
So do you think the drawing of lots is like, you know, hand behind,
Should be.
you know?
White pawn or black pawn.
Which
Yeah.
pawn? Which pawn? Where's the pawn? That's how we used to decide who
course.
was white and black in the olden days. Maybe they still do it these days. So, okay, we see the two arbiters, Harold and Sherry.
They don't seem very busy. They're joking around.
Yeah, they don't look like your typical arbiters, I have to say.
What do your typical arbiters look like?
Well, in the UK, they have a certain image.
You expect an older gentleman?
Yeah, you know, very well acquainted. Well, not that these guys aren't really very well acquainted with the rules, but they look like they're very well acquainted. These guys are super
Chess
cool.
arbiters normally have no clue about the rules, no? Normally the players know much better.
Well,
I'm sure there are great exceptions.
well, these are all actually strong players as well, so that makes a big difference. Sometimes you get arbiters who can barely play chess.
I didn't mean the arbiter here.
No.
They're excellent, but in general,
Yeah, in general,
the experience people have haven't been great.
but yeah. And
Made enemies in the arbiter community. Now I'm regretting my words. I'll never get the benefit of the whistle.
no, it's yeah. No, arbiters do a fine job. They do a fantastic job.
They're the
Although
best.
one rule that surprised me was that was the illegal move rule. I always thought it was a one-time offer.
What was that? The
The illegal move rule, yeah. So if your opponent, say, castles, when it wasn't legal to castle, I always thought that, okay, you have to spot it on the next go, otherwise that's it. But apparently, I think it's in Blitz.
Can you claim it
chess,
later
or-
if the game goes wrong?
Yeah, if the game goes wrong, you can actually sit back and go, hang on a second, you played an illegal move. Let's go back to that position and have a go again. I don't know that. Did you?
What I always wonder, if in this position, if black played h5, which would be wrong, can I go queen takes h5 check? Or is that not allowed? So obviously,
Yeah.
you could claim it's an illegal move, you're in check.
Okay.
But can I take and give it check? Because that
Yeah.
wins the rook.
So the moves that we're talking about are e4, d6.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah, bishop out to b5 check. And if black doesn't see this and just goes h5, can white goes, yeah, queen takes pawn. And say it's still check. I'm going to grab material with check because you have to defend. But I guess no. I guess the arbiters would say no, no, no. Absolutely not.
But I only played legal moves.
Yeah.
Or
but
maybe
it's-
you could argue queen h5 is an illegal move because the king is in check.
Yeah. It's a tricky one. I once had a nightmare about a rule, and then I had to consult my arbiters, and I say, is this true? They said that this is my nightmare. It was actually an Olympiad, and I went into the playing hall. I shook hands with my opponent, and then just before the game was going to start, I went off to the toilet. Came back, and for some reason I have like 20 devices on me. And the game has started, my opponent has just played e4, and all these phones start ringing. And the arbiters come and they go, you lost. And I'm like,
It's 20 phones, so I don't think there's any room for debate.
but I'm like, I'm desperately trying to turn off these phones. I don't know how they materialize, but you know, it's a dream, it happens. And I had to kind of call up the arbiter and just ask, you know, if I did have a mobile phone in the playing venue, if I did dash off to the loo, came back and it started ringing, what would happen? Would I lose the game? And
Sure.
they went, yeah, you'd lose the game. I was like, wow.
I've played tournament games where I'd forgotten I had my phone in my pocket switched on. It's one of the few situations where it pays off. Not having any friends, so I was just fine. Like I realized after the game that no one had called, it didn't ring, so it was good.
Yeah. that happened to my husband, but his phone ringtone was Dancing Queen by ABBA, and it went off. And okay, so which
That
game?
is Dancing Queen, you're okay, right?
Yeah, well, that's a story in itself. Okay, and which game should we follow?
I don't know.
I was a bit sidetracked. So shall we stick with Magnus?
All right,
or
yeah, he's making it exciting anyway.
Yeah, he is, you know. And okay,
He played the girl Trompowski.
yes.
In opening, he played in the first game of the 2016 World Championship match, which was right after Trump had been elected. So he probably found it humorous to play the Trompowski in the first game. But it's back. Topalov playing very solidly.
This isn't the line that you recommended. I remember you recommended some because
I usually want d5.
Yeah, you wanted d5 and then c5, and yeah, it was very good analysis. I liked it.
Thank you. Secret is get an engine. Push that button. That's it. Here, I thought maybe d5. Don't tell anybody. I won't sell courses.
Yeah, and okay, now bishop d3, I guess.
a6, fancy.
Very fancy. Takes.
I've had this position, this exact position actually, in the German Junior Championship under 17 in 1996. But I didn't play bishop takes f6, I castled. I didn't get anything. So Magnus, he's following the classics, but he found an improvement. Bishop f6, followed by h4.
Sorry, I'm sorry for laughing. It was a
Very
good line. Yeah.
G6
h4,
played.
nice.
I like g6 here now. With h5 there's g5 and also makes sure this bishop can stay on this diagonal. Let's see how Carlsen arranges his pieces.
Wait, knight okay, knight to e4.
Bishop g7. The mood he's in, maybe he's going to play g4 just to push g5.
Wow, that's brave.
Yeah,
But
not good.
because it does invite like moves like f5, which I would probably play without a doubt. Maybe lose immediately.
I don't know what he wants. Maybe he's considering d5 here. Grab some space in the center. Not sure what he's up to. h5, g5, d5.
Could he have gone for your g4 idea? Maybe just one move earlier, I guess. So maybe his idea is d5. Yep.
d5 played, yeah, that
Yeah.
explains knight e4. Still doesn't look like anything special. If black takes, queen takes, and then brings the knight to c7.
Yeah.
Still looks very solid.
Or can he even go? Probably it's a good idea to take first, right? And then, because I was thinking of knight c7 first, but yeah,
No, I think you want that pawn
Yep.
on d6.
exactly.
Takes. Knight c7. Now the queen goes away. That's d5. So
Okay,
I guess
guess
Magnus
queen
tries
d6.
queen d6. But still knight e8, forcing the queen away. Then d5.
Do you think a draw will happen?
Nah.
Knight
Not
e8,
yet.
queen d5, queen and knight shuffle.
I like your thinking, man.
Yeah.
Of weighing his options. Could also go rook e8 and then potentially rook e6 if the knight retreats. Yeah, that's what he does.
Castle queenside.
Knight,
Oh no.
knight.
Why? Oh, the knight was hanging. Yes.
Yeah.
Such basics. Okay, now d5 is. Okay, Magnus still has a lot to play for. You know, you can go
Yeah,
h5, get a square.
Not sure I like this rook e8, rook e6. No, some pressure on the black construction.
On the tour, we have this saying: "A knight on f5 will thrive."
Wow.
It's nice,
witty.
deep. Yeah. And we have another one with the f4 once more. A knight on f4 once more. Yeah.
They both rhyme.
Yeah. I laugh at them, but they kind of work. Okay,
Sure.
knight on f5. Or do you
Do you
just
have
go
any
knight
sayings
h?
for knights on g4? Knight on g4 will score.
Yeah, knight on g4. Okay, well, there you go. You should be on our panel, Jan. Have you thought about it? You can come on as a guest.
I don't think there's a majority for that. But the knight
Knight
is
h2.
on his way.
Yeah, g4. What to do?
This looks horrible for black. Knights will just sit there.
Yeah, you can't make a single active move. Knight g4. Good. Now the other knight comes in. Excellent.
Topalov probably, he's thinking light squares, who cares? But that's not a good rule. Look at these knights.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Thank you, thank you.
Can I steal it from you?
All yours. All yours.
Okay.
Oof, Queen e4, he's already trying to simplify to survive a little, but the endgame is just as horrible. Now pawn to f3.
Yeah.
Carlsen can choose his moment to break with c4, e4, a5. This looks
beautiful.
desperate. King f2, no rush.
There's nothing he can do. There's,
Yeah, it's very sad. I would guess something like c4,
C4?
rook d7, or yeah, he goes
I guess
e4.
E4.
Same idea.
okay. How bad is it if you allow the rook into the 7th row? It's pretty bad, isn't it?
It's not great.
And in fact, there's rook takes. You can't even defend that f7 pawn that easily because there's rook takes knight.
Ah, king j8, rook c7.
Yeah.
Nice spot, yeah. Just crushing. Still works, no? Like,
Yeah.
he
On the
goes
board.
for-
That's it. The hand is going to come out. 7 seconds. Up. Yep.
Oof. Crushing victory. Looked all right for black, but then I'm not sure where he lost
Yeah.
the threat. If it was this rook e8 or where did it go wrong? Ah, here, d5 was a mistake. He should have taken a timeout, play h5, weakening this square, but crippling this knight, and then d5 is coming. Black would be all right. Well, after d5, natural move. But now these light squares are under constant stress. And frankly, Topalov never stood a chance in the rest of the game.
Yeah. A very impressive game from Magnus. And
It was about time.
yeah. And we also, Wesley has also just beaten Rajabov. Shall we go to Wang Hao against Maxim Vachilegrov?
Let's do it.
I'm just gonna say that, yeah, looks like my prediction
Oh, 3
might
points
be,
in the making.
might be on point. And okay, well, he's just won.
I'll never doubt you again, Maxime. Next time you lose 5 games, I'll be right there, believing.
Yeah. And Vishy Anand playing with the white pieces. That's still ongoing against Shakhriyar Mamajarov.
What is this? Is it a draw? It's 2 pawns down, but this can't be kept. Then the king stops this guy. It's a draw. Just take. Take. Ah, no, you can't take with the king.
No, yeah. Whoops.
That'd be a mistake. But not taking should do the draw. No, king d1.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, so
Are they done? No.
no, they're still playing.
King f5. I can't count as rook c2 draw. Yeah, it is. The king gets to e1.
Yeah. And there you go. King versus king. Straightforward draw.
Can't do anything.
No. What a shame the game ends there. You know, they should kind of come up with a new set of rules when it's just the kings. But okay. So exciting round. We saw Magnus Carlsen beat Topalov. Very instructive game. Rajabov lose to Wesley So. Anish Giri, Ariantari. It's a student versus teacher. And the student this time held against Anish. And Wang Hao lost to Maxim Vachilegrov, who's making a big comeback. And Vishy drew against Shakhriyar Mamajarov. So this means the standings are Wesley is still in the lead, 1 point with 6 points, and Vishy Anand and Magnus Carlsen are trailing by 1 point. And Anish Giri is on 4.5 points along with Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. So those are the critical 5 spots. And I was wondering,
Wesley is just crushing the field.
yeah, has he lost a game, Wesley? Let's have a look.
Didn't he lose the
Yeah,
first
he
one or
lost.
something?
He lost
Then-
to Wang Hao, and hang on a second. He's won 5 games in a row.
Wow. Wesley Crusher. Like that Star Trek guy.
I'm not a Star Trek person.
Me neither, but I think there's a character called Wesley Crusher.
Ah, okay.
I learned from the Big Bang Theory.
Ah, okay.
I know a lot of useful stuff.
I know lots of useless stuff.
Oh, okay.
And no, I don't know. I'm not a Trekkie, so I know there's a Captain Kirk and Spock, and there's some Vulcans in there. More character, Captain Wesley Crusher, right? You said?
Yeah, but I think they're on different ships.
Ah, okay, okay.
Have you heard of Picard? The
Yeah. X-Men guy,
yeah, the X-Men
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
That's what he's famous for.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
That's his name.
That is his name.
Wow. So final round actually, and shall we decide what game we're going to follow? And chat can help us out and help us choose. So we have Mamedyarov, Carlsen, we have Maxim Vashilograf, Vishy Anand, Aryan Tari, Wang Hao, Wesley So against Anish, Veselin Topalov against Rajabov. Which one? I think, should we go for Wesley against Anish?
He
Or maybe he's just
he is
gonna draw
destroying
it.
the tournament. We should at
we
least see him in action.
Yeah, we should see him in action, definitely. So yeah, we'll finish. We will finish at on that high. I saw on Twitter actually that there was a name for someone came up with a name for the animal that likes to suffer for these long games. And it was quite cool. It was like Jovanka cat.
Jovanka cat?
Yeah, the Jovanka cat. Yeah.
Is that a real animal?
No.
Oh.
But you know, it could be there. And my favourite animal, though, I didn't even know about its existence for a long, long time, is the honey badger.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan, of course.
Yeah.
Honey
Gosh.
Badger, Don't Give an
They
F
don't
is my
care.
favorite video. Yeah,
That's
Honey Badger.
fantastic, isn't it? And I can't believe that animal escaped my knowledge for a long, long time until I saw that video.
Yeah.
Did you know about it before that video?
For years.
Yeah.
Before that video, yeah, I'm not sure. I think that video converted many people onto Team Honey Badger.
Yeah.
I would also recommend, because let's face it, 5 of the players will get an extra white. You don't need to keep watching this show. Go somewhere else and watch Honey Badger Don't Care. It's worth your time, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, Honey Badger Don't Care. Yeah, it's a great twists and turns in that video. I liked it when the snake element happened. And I thought,
Don't
oh,
spoil it. Don't spoil it. I don't want to know what happens after he gets poisoned
No.
by the snake.
I'm not going to give it away. It's a good moment. Have you ever seen the? There's a rodent or something trying to escape this viper pit. It's quite
Yeah, of
hard
course.
in your mouth.
Did you see it with Snoop Dogg commentary?
Oh yeah. Oh my God! Someone else who's seen Snoop Dogg commentates nature programs.
Of course.
It's the funniest thing ever.
He's a hero. What are these animals called? It's my favorite animals in German, but I don't know what they're called in English. League
What?
One. What is it? It's not lizard, is it? It's,
Oh yeah. It was like a was it a gecko? Was it
can't think of the
iguana?
term.
No?
Iguana. Yeah,
Iguana.
there you go.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh. But you also watch Snoop Dogg narrates. Oh,
Yeah, I spent my time wisely.
me too, clearly. And
All right, so you have a choice. You can watch Honey Badger Don't Care, followed by Snoop Dogg narrates Iguana versus many snakes, or you can watch with us game number 9, Wesley So versus Anish Giri. Will
Yeah.
probably be a draw. They both qualify.
Yep.
But you never know. You also don't know if the iguana is going to escape. You don't know what's going to happen to the honey badger after he eats the poison snake, or if he eats the poison snake.
Yeah,
He
they
does
have
that.
3 choices then. And then on top of that, they can go watch Snoop.
No, it's rough.
Yeah. And
There's Wesley.
there is Wesley.
Would you say Wesley looks a bit like Clark Kent with his glasses? I always expect him to take them off and then be sitting there in a cape.
Yeah, now you say it. Oh, what are they discussing?
They're saying,
Did you really? Is that true?
let's do the math, Timor. If you win, you can still make it. If I win, nothing happens. What say you? No, of course they're not saying.
Yeah. Let me just work it out. Well, everyone's in a good mood. And what do you think they're saying?
They're saying, we're both qualified. Quick draw? Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
We have to make it look like a fight. What about
Yeah.
we play this line with the queen sacrifice and then the perpetual and the Grunfeld? They will never be onto us. No, that's ridiculous. We've done that a million times in the Champions Chess Tour. No. It's been a long time ago. We can bring it back. No, just Berlin? All right, just Berlin.
Just Berlin.
Let's do it.
Good. That works. He even did the hand movements. Yeah,
Yeah.
they will never know. And oh my, I would laugh myself silly if they actually.
No.
Oh,
Grunfeld.
No.
Grunfeld. Is it going to be the line with the queen sacrifice? Oh,
oh no.
Exciting. Bishop g7, knight f3, c5, rook b1. Wesley, do you remember the move order? Oh no, different.
Oh, different.
Not
Ah,
happening.
okay.
We got it all wrong. Knight d2, oh, even shorter. Knight c4, queen c3, bishop d2,
Queen
queen
b2.
b2, bishop c1. Come on, guys, give
that's
us a queen sacrifice.
Oh,
that's just
there
down.
you go.
Come on.
Okay.
The people who didn't switch to the iguana video, they're really disappointed now.
Yeah.
I did tell you so.
Yeah. We have to check out, because your narrative was like spot on, we have to check out Topalov against Rajabov. See what's happening there. Would you?
I didn't even actually look at the scores. Where's Rajabov?
So Rajabov is, I think he wasn't doing so well actually.
Ah, no, it's going to be rough. They're
He's
both
on
out.
10th, yeah, he's in 10th place.
Yeah, they got nothing to play for.
Yeah. So
1.5 points behind.
yeah,
Fifth.
okay. So maybe we go to should we go to Magnus's game? Or we can go to Vichy. Actually, maybe we should check out Vichy's game.
But Magnus has queen on a6.
Oh, okay.
More experimenting. Because most people in this position, they play pawn to d5 to occupy the center.
Yeah.
But Magnus is saying, what about we move the queen twice to the side of the board instead?
Okay. And success?
Well, the queen got there, and the position is not great now, but he did successfully move the queen there. Knight takes a4. This also looks like a typical Mamedyarov position. d4, he's solid, but there are some kind of tricks. Then again, if he doesn't do anything special in the next couple moves, Black will consolidate and have a healthy position. Or maybe they'll just repeat moves and be done with it. It's always an option.
That
But
is.
Magnus, he hasn't been in the mood to not continue playing, so he goes all the way back.
Yeah, but then you have to ask, what was the point with all these queen moves?
Confuse the issue.
Okay.
And with all the nonsense we're talking, one has to credit Magnus for always wanting to fight, even if here with a draw, probably even with a loss, he's qualifying for sure. He tries to keep the game going,
Yeah.
entertain us.
Hang on, let's check the standings and just see whether he will finish in one of those top 5 spots. So if Mamedyarov beats him, yeah, for sure he's qualified. He's got one of those top 5 spots.
Yeah.
So he can do
He's
what he
safe,
likes.
but many people, if they were safe, they would just say, let's make a quick draw,
Yeah.
go home. He says, no, let's play a game of chess.
Yeah, why not? That's what I like about Magnus. I also quite like the fact that he's there playing all these like weird and wonderful ideas. I think that makes him quite cool.
I don't know. I think calling it ideas is strong, but yeah, he's very very much trying to mix it.
Yeah.
Now he's sort of okay. Queen to b7.
Queen
Bishop
b7,
can sit
yeah.
here.
Queen has found its ideal square all along. Took a while.
Rook c8. He's taking his time.
Well, there's maybe some issue on the long diagonal, right?
No, knight b4. Yeah, rook c8 looked suspect.
Put the bishop on e4, and
Yeah, no trickery then. I guess not. No, he probably just takes and goes queen c1 and says, "I'm still a little better, Mr. Carlsen."
yeah, and well, Magnus has a nice lead on the clock. Yep, as you predicted. Knight d7.
Oh, look at this. Your boy.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, it turns out I didn't have enough faith in him.
No, you only gave him 3.5. It's
yeah.
going to be 4.
Wow. Ooh. Okay, but how do you put this one in the back of the net?
Yeah, I don't see a checkmate yet. But
So still chance for my half point.
could be.
Rookie. I like this rookie one.
It's just exchanging.
Oh. Okay, this is quite nice. You mean you have a great endgame. F3, rook d2. Drop the bishop back to e4. But you know, actually, I'm feeling that my uncanny prediction might be happening. Would you be impressed with my Nostradamus skills?
Yeah, for sure. I should never have doubted.
No.
The world Blitz champion, Maxim Vachier-Lagrave.
Well, he is only on, is it 30 seconds on the clock? Not much time remaining. King comes in. It still feels like a quite unpleasant position for. Can you grab that pawn?
I think he
Yes.
wants king f6 and then h6. But Maxim's probably ready for that
And
course of action. Just f4, rook e5.
h6, rook e5.
C'est fini. Rook e5, g5. This will be pretty straightforward. 4 points.
That's fair.
So he lost the first 5, then won the second 4. That's what he did.
Yep. It's not often you see that, actually.
Ever.
And he'll probably feel like it's a good tournament for him, actually,
I know, maybe.
because you kind
He
of.
should have not lost the first 5.
Yeah, that would have been ideal, but you can't win everything.
I think he'd be much happier than had he won the first 4 and then lost the last 5.
Yeah,
Although the score would be the same,
exactly.
but he's gonna go into the tournament feeling good about himself now.
Yeah, and I don't think our board is updated, but
Nah, it never does.
it looks like he has indeed taken the point.
Yeah,
Very impressive comeback. And okay, what about Magnus?
Nah, it's gonna be, I guess, drawish.
But I don't know, the pawn on e4 looks like it's going to fall off the board. Oh, well, hang on a
So there's
second.
The pawn on e5.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Rook c7 though.
Yeah, just,
Should keep the balance.
and then after bishop takes pawn.
Yeah, takes.
everything.
Rook a7. He might lose the e5 pawn, but it's
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this one's also probably going to end in a draw as well.
Nadyarov goes rook c8. Maybe more precise. Takes. What's his point?
Bishop c7, but then you've got rook d5.
5, rook a8. Shouldn't change much. King g7.
King 7.
No, he doesn't do that.
Oh, I think he should have gone king g7.
I agree. Now he must suffer.
Yeah, but the players are on seconds left, so still plenty of margin to go wrong.
Yeah, no, it's still okay. The king is in time to deal with the pawn.
Okay.
So it should be a draw.
Yeah,
Question mark.
Yeah. I reckon the key is maybe just to stop the white king from making an entrance on the king side. This should be a draw, right?
Yeah, white's tied down to keeping his king side somewhere. I know who's playing for a win. I guess both. H4 now.
And
No.
no. That's a difficult move to play. You kind of want to do that when you've got more time on the clock.
I think he's still trying to win.
Oh, now you can give a check.
Now you gotta calculate. Takes, king b6.
But can you just
F4,
go
king
bishop,
b5, king
bishop
b5.
c3 and not have to calculate?
Yeah.
Or bishop e1, even better.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever in danger. He's just looking for a way to win, but there is none.
Yeah.
So, draw agreed.
Okay. So that means
This is it.
This is it. One game left, and that's Ariane Tari against Wang Hao. And it's looking great for
Looks
the
great
Norwegian.
For Ariane. Rook to f8 is pretty tough to stop. And Van Hao resigns.
Yep.
Because
And
one of the pawns would queen.
that's it. It's all over. And
Let's see who made it.
yeah, who finished in the top 5? They get the 5 whites. And Wesley So finished in first place with 6.5 points. Magnus Carlsen second with 5.5 points. Anish Giri 5. Gosh, there was also along with Vishy Anand and Shakriya Mamajarov. And we also have to mention MVL, who after losing 5 games at the start, bounced back with 4 victories. It's incredible stuff. And this means that Wesley So gets to pick what number he is.
How do they have that graphic? Did they know he was going to win? Is that graphic for every player?
Yeah, I
It's
presume.
magic.
It is magic. I mean, they work so quickly as well.
Oof.
So that means he
What do you
gets
think Wesley's going to get?
what he's going to pick. Yeah, I don't know. But
I think 1 is the most popular because then you start with 2 whites. There's also some, maybe 5, where you get like double whites in the middle of the tournament, something like that. I
okay.
think those are the popular choices.
I did ask MVL this question. I was like, because I was sat there having dinner with him, and I said, you know, what number would you choose? And he said he would prefer having number 5. Because then it just meant that it was black, white, oh, I'm sorry, white, black, and everything's alternate, everything's good. But I didn't, yeah, number 1, if it starts with double white, yeah, that's good.
I don't even know if that's true. But
I
think
don't
so.
know, I'm not good with this type of stuff.
So if you start with double white, then it means you have more blacks in crunch time when it matters. So can't win.
But then you should be riding high from having your double whites.
Yeah, you should probably draw them both and then
Yeah, that's true. Oh well, we'll see.
it's rough. I guess this is it from us. You can probably watch the drawing of lots on the Norwegian television channel if you find a way to get that. I think NRK, they're tuned into all these happenings. We do know which players will get the extra white, and we'll be back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Is that where it starts? Ugh, what are we gonna do all day? 5 p.m. with the first round of the classical tournament. Can't wait.
See you then.
This is John. John loves to study chess. This is David. David loves to study chess as well, but efficiently. John spends more time setting up the board and figuring out what's on the page of his book than he gets to study. David likes to take it easy and use his time wisely. David has finished his exercise for today. John should try the same.
Seriously? Checkmate! Aim chess is an intelligent system that analyzes your game, prevents mistakes, and develops recommendations for improving your skill. Phew!
Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. What are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
That I give up a phone. He wants to be even rude.